This is Melanie. She vowed that she would never cut her own hair. But I promised her I had a technique that I could teach her that would make it so simple that anyone could do this at home. And so she trusted me, and she did these front layers all by herself. And so I'm gonna walk you through that exact, very simple process, step by step, right now. Oh, and before we dive into this, I do wanna say that this video is actually taken from an entire masterclass that I created all about how to cut and color your own hair at home. I did this about a couple of years ago. I have no beard, might look a little weird. Don't be freaked out, but into the video. Have no beard, might look weird. Oh, I'm a rapper, didn't even know it. I can rhyme, folks. Okay, today we are gonna talk about layering just the front layers. So this would include things longer than bangs or the layers that connect into the bangs. To start out with tools, you're gonna need a few things. You're gonna want a comb, or you could use a brush too for part of this just to get the tangles out, but you ultimately wanna make sure that you have a comb as well. You're gonna need straight shears, as well as ideally, again, you're going to need thinning shears or texturizing shears. These are gonna come in very handy in this particular video. You're also gonna need one little ponytail holder, and it's gonna be pretty straightforward. So in this scenario, we're actually gonna use dry hair. A good way to do this, if you actually have curly hair or wavy hair, flat iron it out first, get it straight so that you can see a simple and easy line. And the first thing you're gonna do is just comb through it with a brush. So I'll just have you brush this out just to make sure there aren't any tangles or anything in it. So let's kind of work through that. Now you're gonna grab your comb. You're gonna wanna part your hair wherever it is that you part your hair. If you part your hair down the center, then part it down the center. If you flip it back and forth, part it on the center. If you part to one side or the other side on a consistent basis, part it to that side, which would ever be natural, and you're gonna part that on that side all the way back to this crown area. Perfect. Next thing you're gonna do is you're going to take a section from the top of your head to the top, very top of your ear right here. Perfect, so she's combing all that stuff forward, and then everything on the other side, we're gonna comb, do the same thing, same parting on the other side. Perfect. So now she's gonna comb all of the stuff in the front forward, and then everything else, she's gonna tuck behind her shoulders or comb back. Next step is you're gonna grab this ponytail holder right here, and you're just gonna put this back into a ponytail. Make sure you have it all. You've got a little bit piece standing out there. Let's just make sure that all of this is back. So you want a clean line there. Make sure that that looks good. Okay, now pull that into ponytail. Okay, so now all we're dealing with is the very, very front. So there's some very important things that you want to think about right now. First of all, we want to know that this hair right at the back of the section, so this hair right here, this is our length. This should stay exactly the same length that it is right now. We are gonna use this as a guide, but we're not going to be touching this. Now, what you wanna do is you wanna figure out where do you want those layers to start, okay? If you wanna start them up here, then you're gonna start them there. If you want them to be longer, then you're gonna start them longer. If you flip your hair back and forth and it's parted down the center currently, just understand that you're gonna make these even right now. And if you flip your head to one side or flip your hair to the other side, it's gonna be a little bit uneven. It's not a big deal. We do it in the salon all the time. It's a very normal thing. So what I'll have you do is once you decide where you want that to be, you're gonna take your fancy little shears here and you're going to snip just the very front. So it's just this little piece right here and right here, just a couple pieces. And this is going to be what you use to guide your hair as far as how short. So we know we don't make it too short. So you're gonna get this stuff out of the way. You can tuck this behind your ears if that's easy for you. And now you're just dealing with the very front little pieces. Comb that hair real quick and pull it straight down into your face like you're gonna, okay, don't do this and then pull it and then cut it, okay? Because what's gonna happen is if you get it to the right length there, it's gonna cinch up, okay? So you wanna just comb it how you're gonna wear it, which might be off to the side like that, and you're just gonna leave any tension out of this, and you're just gonna snip that. So you wanted those to go in the lip, is that what you're thinking, or longer? Maybe the chin? Yeah. Longer the chin? Okay, so let's start in here, and you're just going to snip that little piece at that length.
Straight across?
Yeah, and keep in mind, for you to always err to the longer side, we can always take more up. And in fact, at the very end of this, we're gonna walk you through a process to blend this in a little bit more, so it will feel like it goes a tiny, tiny, tiny bit shorter. So err a little bit to the longer side. So if we want it to end in here, we wanna go a little bit longer than that. Perfect, now match the other side to it. Now one way you can do that, exactly. One way you can do that is to put the comb in there and get an idea of where the other side would be. So now that we have that front part kind of settled, we know where our length is. Now I'm gonna have you take this and just comb this section down for us so that we can see it really cleanly. Perfect. What you'll have here is you have this length and you have this length. And what you're trying to do at this point is just draw a line between the two of those. Again, you don't want to take this any shorter and you don't want to take this any shorter. So all you want to do is make sure that this stuff in here looks like a line. To do that, what you can do is you can take some of this and comb this back behind your ear like you did before and tilt your head off to the side and comb this down. When you do that, then you can just lay it against your face and cut this stuff from this point to this point. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's have you do that now. And you're just gonna draw a line from that piece. Yep, just exactly like that. Absolutely perfect. Now, take this hair and you'll comb that forward. And you're gonna do the exact same thing. You're just gonna know that we don't touch this stuff. So all we need to do is connect this into that piece. Just draw a line that goes from there. Perfect. That's absolutely perfect. Now, let's do the same thing on the other side. So you'll start in the shorter piece and you'll connect it into the longer piece. You just wanna make sure that you know where this other piece is. So you wanna make sure that these shears are pointed towards that piece at all times. You don't wanna ever do this. The second you start doing that and you start pointing those shears back towards the back of your head, that's when you could take too much out of there. So always know that the more you have your shears angled down, the safer you are. The more they're angled to the side, the more your hair you're gonna take off. So just keep them pointed down and pointed towards this corner and you'll be a lot safer and you should be good. Because you pulled this out of the way and you only cut this and you didn't cut this hair back here, that means that the length has not been touched. It won't look like it draws into the center or brings the eye back. You'll still have this corner and it'll be an effective, nice, flowing layering. Let's say there's a really strong line and maybe you don't like that line. Maybe you want it to be a little bit more texturized. If you take your comb and actually comb that section of hair out a little bit first, so get it in the comb. And all you're gonna do is just go over the ends with those thinning shears like that, but you're just gonna do a couple quick cuts, like cut, pull out. Yep, good. Cut, pull out. Now, there's a couple very specific things that she does very well that not everyone's gonna know about. You don't come up here with the thinning shears. You're gonna keep those thinning shears about a 1/2 inch or a 1/4 inch towards the ends. Nothing more than that or you'll over thin your hair. And you're just going over the ends a couple times real quickly. You're just breaking them up a little bit. That's it. If you get too aggressive with thinning shears, you can cause problems too. Suggestions are, again, make sure your hair is flat ironed. You don't want it to be too wavy or too curly or it can be hard to determine where those lines are. So ideally you would dry it, flat iron it. It makes it easier to manage and easier to see what's going on. Next, you want to make sure that you have a clean combing. So you want to comb it and part it and make sure that all the sections are clean and neat because it will, again, impact the way that the overall finished product looks. Pull this hair back, make sure that that's out of your way, and make sure that you do not touch this hair here. This does not get cut. Don't put any tension on it. The more you pull on those hairs in the front, the more they're gonna cinch up and they're gonna end up shorter than what you think they're gonna be. If you wanna learn more about the entire course, I do have a link in the description. Or if you wanna learn more about common mistakes while you're styling your hair, got a video right here. Go ahead and check that out, and I'll see you over there.